So it's like I found my soulmate obsession. If that's what you want to call it, that's what it is. You know, don't get me wrong. I am never going away from yarn because yarn is never going away. Hi, yarny friends. Welcome to my yarn room. Ooh, I got a big mess of hair tonight, don't I? So, if the other night was a little different, tonight's going to be a little more different. A more differenter. So you guys know that I am making 365 videos this year, at least, you know, one a day. And the reason I am doing that is because I want to kind of measure what videos do well and just kind of keep up on everything. I'm a creature of habit. Well, as it turns out, I love making a video a day. I love talking to you guys every day is really what it comes down to. And today I was having a very difficult time figuring out what I was going to make this video about tonight. Oops, ooh, I don't want that. Because I was like, I don't know what I have to share about yarn today. Do I want to talk about, you know, the yarn on this wall, the yarn on that wall, going through and looking at the online sales because there isn't really anything new at the yarn stores today, going over some whips. I actually have quite a few FOs now too, which is nice because I'm holding myself accountable by doing pattern tests. You know, we do what we can do. But then I was like, I don't want to talk about yarn tonight. I think the other night, for those of you who haven't watched it, I made a video with my husband because I was having kind of the same kind of night and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to talk about. And I have all of these ideas in my mind, but it's like I can't get them together to get them all out. I think a couple of things that I have been thinking about along with, you know, yarn videos and stuff like that is, you know, what is the end result that I want to get with my channel? What am I hoping to achieve with my channel? Well, I mean, there's the obvious, you know, first thing you think of is, well, yeah, I want to earn a decent living. I don't need to get rich. I just want to be able to pay my bills. So there's that, you know, but that's kind of like a byproduct. That's a thing that needs to be done, you know, in order to do what I really want to do. I'm not looking at this as just a yarn channel. I guess for somebody just coming in and just, oh, hold on, I gotta open my window. You know, don't get me wrong. I am never going away from yarn because yarn is never going away from me. So for me, and probably with a lot of you guys too, I'm assuming, since like-minded people tend to stick together, is that life is a lifelong learning process. It's like we never get finished learning. So I've told you guys several times how before I started my YouTube channel, before I started making friends in this community, I basically didn't have any friends. I kind of have always been a loner. You know, I won't go into all the reasons because of that. It's kind of like it doesn't matter what made that happen. You just kind of live with what you got now because you can't go back and change the past. But you do have this moment and your whole future And that's how I feel every day. That's how I feel when I wake up in the morning. That's probably why I'm so positive all the time, because I know that at any moment in the day, I can restart that day. Even if the day before, even if every second leading up to that second was bad in whatever way, shape, or form, that this moment, everything can change just like that, and it can be better. I hope that makes some sense. When I started this channel, I wanted to share yarn and my love with yarn and how yarn made me feel and how happy it made me feel with everybody, with all you guys, with anybody that would listen. You don't have to be a certain age to understand what I'm feeling here, because I remember when I was back in my 20s, I remember thinking, I wish somebody had written like a book of life so that I would know what to do. Like I would know what to do with my kids. Like I would know what to do with myself. Like I would magically know how to get my life together. With me, it was kind of like, say you have to drive across country from New York to California, like to Sacramento, I don't know, some town in California, with no map. And you just kind of start driving and hope you get there. That's kind of how I've kind of dealt with life all my life, kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I have always been looking for an answer. Like, that's why I went to school for psychology. That's what's been my motivation for doing a lot of things. And I've always been frustrated because it's like, no matter how hard I tried, I could never, it's like I was always going down the wrong road. I was always going down the road that was a dead end. I was always going down like a dirt road instead of a, you know, the highway. It's like I could see everybody else driving by on the freeway or on the highway or whatever. And they were like, la, 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 we've got our stuff together. We're driving down the road. And here I was stuck in a ditch, being able to see everybody, but not knowing what in the world, how in the world I kept doing things wrong. So, you know, I love talking in analogies. That's me. One of the ways I try to fill that frustration or that anxiety or, you know, like, oh my gosh, what in the world is going on here? Things, plants. I'm a collector. I had way too many plants at one time. I had hundreds of plants in my house. It was ridiculous. And then I started with yarn and I was like, this is great. Yarn doesn't die. Yarn doesn't go away. I mean, yarn won't make you do stupid things. Yarn is practical. You can make things out of it and give them to other people. So it's like I found my soulmate obsession. If that's what you want to call it, that's what it is. I would say I started hardcore with my yarn 10 years ago. Before that, it was just, of course, I had other things to be obsessed with, like plants or scrapbooking or books, reading, other various things that people get obsessed or addicted to. Yarn is safe. I love yarn because it makes me think of my childhood. My grandma teaching me to crochet, living on a sheep farm, my mom spinning and crocheting with me. We would get in her bed with the blankets on us, a VCR, and like a bunch of snacks. It was the best time ever. And then again, you know, when my kids were little, I would crochet blankets. I would show them how to crochet blankets, not the boys, but the girls. And, you know, as you get older and your kids grow up and, you know, go other places, go to college and whatever. I don't want to go into details of why I get sad or why I get depressed or any of that. I mean, we've all got our reasons. We've all got our reasons why, you know, you can't get to be, I'm going to be 53 on Saturday. You can't get to 53 years old. But then again, I was feeling this way when I was 33, when I was 23. But, you know, the older you get, the more you know, and the more you think, am I ever going to get this right? And I've been like bouncing that around my whole life. But when I met all of you guys, when I started making friends in this community, I was like, this is what I have been missing my whole life. I have been missing this community of friends. You know, it's rare that you meet the kind of people that you just stick with, right? And I had never met those people. Or maybe it's that I had never put myself out and given myself or other people a chance. I met you guys and it's like we're a sisterhood and brothers. I know there are men out there too that crochet, like-minded people. You know, that's the whole reason why I went to school for psychology. I've always wanted to help people to be happy, you know, to help them get the sadness gone and to just help, just to be of help in whatever way I can on an emotional level. I was always a goofy kid. I would act goofy, try not to be so serious. And I was always a comedian, and not a very funny one. I would say I was probably more obnoxious. What I didn't realize was that in trying to help others figure out their problems, I was really trying to figure out mine too. And that's what's happening here. You know, it's not any tangible thing that you can touch. It's the relationships that we are forming. You guys give me so much. I feel like you guys give me so much more than I give you. You've given me my life back. I mean, granted, I have my kids, my husband, my wonderful family, and like every single bit of that I love. But you all, without even knowing it, are helping me to be a stronger person because I realize that I am worthy of having friends. I am a good friend. And this may sound silly to some of you guys. I seriously was a loner for years, except my family. So, long story shortened, my channel will always be about yarn, but really what it is foremost is community. You know, what it is I don't see a day when my channel ends because I want to keep the relationship that I have going with you guys forever. And, you know, I do want to keep earning enough to pay the bills so that I can keep doing this. So, and that's what, you know, having the YouTube channel is, doing affiliate links and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that's really important to me is having this community. And I know that I can't talk to everybody individually, but I am amazed at how many friendships just from the time that I started my 5 a.m. lives back in 2020, how many relationships and friendships and everything, not just because of my channel, but, you know, because of everybody's channels and the community, how many friendships I have seen form and grow and other channels form and grow. That has given me true happiness. And the yarn. I mean, we get to talk about yarn all the time. I want to help and be there for everybody. I feel the same as I did my whole life. I would love to be able to give advice, or at least be a bright ray of sunshine in somebody's life who's having a hard time. Like when I was younger and didn't know what was going on, that I can be there to tell somebody who is in the same situation as I was 3 decades ago. Friends help. It helps to have friends. It helps to have people to talk to share things with. I hope I'm making sense to you guys, because life is too short. Life is finite, you know, and maybe I'm realizing this the older I get, but we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the people around us. We owe it to God, or, you know, to our higher being. We have been given a gift with this life. What a shame if we don't live it to the fullest. In whatever way, shape, or form that brings itself out in your life. It's kind of like this. Okay, you're a baby, you're a little seed, right? You're a seed here, you get planted in the dirt. If all situations are good, you know, you get the right amount of sunshine, you get the right amount of water, rain, nutrients, all that, you grow up and be the beautiful plant you're supposed to be. That's how things grow. If given all the correct growing circumstances, nutrients, what have you, love, security, all that kind of stuff, you grow up into the beautiful person that you're meant to be. Say you've had some knocks, some, you know, cows walking through the field, steps on you. There's many seasons of drought. It gets real cold and freezes a couple of times. So you've grown up kind of all wonky. At any point in time, given the right nurturing, the right gardening, it won't come right away. You'll get back on track and continuing growing to your beautiful self. And I know this for a fact because I have plants. I mean, I've treated some bad for a couple of years, not intentionally, but just like because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I've had some of my plants for 20 or 30 years. Okay, not 30, 25, 26. 26. I have this one. It's a ponytail plant that the wind blew over. Here in Kansas, I don't know if you know it, winds blow hard in the springtime. My plant blew over. I never picked it up like that whole summer. So it started growing a different way. Like it was laying down this way, but then it started growing up this way, like perpendicular to how its stem was. So I was like, that's weird. So then I set it back up and then it started growing up like this. So its stem was kind of like this. I love that plant. I love that characteristic about it because it's something interesting. And the plant's like, yeah, sure, I love it. But anyway, that plant's one of the biggest, healthiest, prettiest plants I have. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too in the weeds here about talking about, you know, feelings and stuff. I just wanted to kind of let you know where my mind has been lately. And I know that if I didn't have my yarn and I didn't have you guys, life would be a lot less beautiful. Definitely going to continue with all the yarn videos every day this year and keep building the community and keep being there and and that's the important thing, being here consistently every day in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a video, finding me on Instagram, or just being able to DM me on Instagram, join my Facebook group, join the Discord, you know, whatever, any of those places. Even if I'm not there, there will always be somebody in one of those places that will be happy to talk to you, happy to message you. And you don't know, you might find the best friend that you've ever had in one of these groups. You might find answers you need to other things besides yarn. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm obsessed with yarn. I'm crocheting all the time. I just want to be here for you guys. So that's it. That's my spiel. There's probably more that I want to tell you guys, but you know, every once in a while I'll probably pop up with a video like this because, you know, every once in a while friends just got to have talks, right? It can't be all happy and happiness all the time. But you know what? I do love every single one of my yarns. I do love yarn. That's why I probably don't give good yarn reviews. But I also love all of you guys. I really do. When I say it at the end of my video every night, I mean it. I love you guys. You are important to me. And don't you forget that ever. Okay, you guys have a wonderful night. I love you guys. Bye.